Well, we're first week of August and still nice and green, looking good over here. I am pumping water to the neighbor's yard, getting it prepared for the quick turnaround. The drive accelerate is starting to kick in. Some of the crabgrass is starting to discolor. Next couple of days I'll start working on the broadleaf weeds, and I'll probably use triplet for that. And pretty exciting stuff here. I'm going to do a test run with the GCI Turf Spray Buddy to make sure it does okay with spraying herbicides out of it and there's no adverse effects. And of course I'll do more than one test with it. I won't just test it one time. But that's coming. It's on the way. Can't wait to try it out right here. And you can see right here I got a little touch of nutsedge. Little long lime greeny looking mess, and I had exceptional results in my yard with this stuff. We come over here, this right here was one area I applied it and not the first piece of nutsedge has come back. Right here's the other area I applied the nutsedge control Vexus. Nothing, not the first drop of it. Here's this old piece of common Bermuda in my yard, checking on out pretty good, and of course it's more likely to come back. And here's the edges on my yard. Okay, little tiny touch of heat stress around the edge here and there. That's just where the dirt next to the asphalt gets a little hotter than it does say out in the yard, and heats up a little bit more, so I get a little bit of stress around the edges. No big deal. One thing you don't see is crabgrass, and you won't see any. But I'm telling you, there's plenty of it around here to go around. This is crabgrass. I want to show you the difference in crabgrass and Bermuda grass and tell you a little story. How I learned what crabgrass was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a good chunk of it right here. Oh yeah. Look at that beauty right there, boy. Good gracious alive, man. Look at that chunk. Whoo, be careful, don't drop it in the yard. Please don't drop it in the yard. Don't drop it in the yard. Please don't drop it in the yard. Over here on the side of the house, and this is one of my favorite parts of the yard, man. I love the way the beds kind of weave in and out and kind of got their own little thing going on over here, and the grass is in a little bit of a semi-shade, and good day, I love it. I love tall fescue. I'm telling you, you seen me do the Bermuda at the shop, but I want to let you know, most of you watch me for tall fescue. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like it. It just ain't nothing like it. Let's come on over here. Over here, we're on the back side of my yard. These two strips of mow right here, actually mine. My property goes, you can't see it, but it's dead in line with that fence way down there. So I've got about 2 strips of grass right here. All this is non-irrigated down through here. And you come over here and the irrigation does catch this little corner right here. And let me show you what's creeping in from the neighbor. Let's get it right here. Let's go down in here and let's pull some out. Oh, man. I want you to see it. This little corner, I am going to do some Pilex applications. As you can see my fescue right here. I've actually got an irrigation head right up there that swings around and catches this corner and then goes back that way. And this right here is my fescue, and you can see the line right here. And look, oh, holy cow, look down in there. It is just, it's in here. It is in here. Oh my word, look at that right there. Holy cow. So let's take this piece over here and let's talk about it. Before I go over there, here's a great example right here to give you a real good visual. See this long runner? See how I'm pulling it up? See how it's tacked down at the node, at the intersection where it branches off a new leaf. Look at that. Look how that stuff just pulls up. Look at those long runners right there. Oh man, I know you Bermuda boys are like, run baby, run. And those fescue boys are like, Die, baby, die. Look at that. Good day in the morning. You know, I'm going to take that piece right there with me. That's another good piece. Oh, this is dangerous. Because here's my yard. I've got this in my hand. I don't want this to end up over there. So I'm going to ease on over this way a little bit. And I know somebody like, man, that guy's freaking crazy. But I'm telling you now, I don't want this in my yard. I got 3 little spots. 1, 2, 3. I don't want no more. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome you to my home. Man, I got something cool I want to share with you. And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. Just never got around to it. I had a little extra time, so I figured I'd knock it on out. So I started my lawn care company about 18 years ago. Started off the mow blow gig and would mow and do anything in the world to make $1 as far as in the yard. Shoveled horse crap, pulled weeds, dug up plants, mowed grass, obviously. Anything and everything to get going in my company and get my business started. Well, so I went out, was playing around the golf one day, and unintentionally hit over a guy who was out in the fairway playing his next shot. And that's when I was in the long drive thing. I could actually hit it pretty good. Can't no more. Well, I don't guess I can no more. I don't know. I haven't played in so long. I don't know. But anyway, I went up to him, apologized. I didn't mean to do that. Anybody playing with you? Let's play. So played in with him and got to talking, found out what he'd done for a living, where he lived, all that, you know, just typical conversation. And of course I told him, hey, I just started a lawn care company. You know, at the time I was just mowing grass basically. And he said, well, you know what? I hate mowing my yard. I despise it. It sucks. I'll pay you to do it. I met him in his house. This really it really caught me off guard. I was not expecting to roll up there in a gated community. It's this massive house. And we come to an agreement. I started taking care of his yard. A little time went on, and that's when I contracted a large corporation company to manage the actual turf, take care of the weed control and all that. And that's actually how I got into spraying, because I was really disappointed with the results. So I said, heck, I'm gonna do it myself. And so that's where the my passion for spraying turf and doing turf care came into. But I talked to my client, and I said one day, and granted this was 17 years ago, and shows you that you have to learn, okay? You just don't come right out of the box and you know everything. At least, well, I thought I knew everything, because, you know, I had that mentality, whoo, I got a new mower, I'm bad to the bone. I know everything there is to know about a yard. Obviously, I was foolish and did not know everything, and my client educated me. So I called him and said, hey, man, you got some crabgrass in your yard. We need to get rid of that. You know, trying to sound all big and professional and all that mumbo jumbo. And I met him out there and I said, look, you've got some crabgrass in your yard and we need to get rid of it. And he was like, no, that's Bermuda grass. And I argued him until I was blue in the face. And that led me to do my homework. And when I went back and did my homework, I had to call him, say, look, I'm sorry, I apologize. You were right and I was wrong. And I learned that day, 17 years ago, that the difference between common Bermuda and crabgrass. The reason for this video is to help you understand the difference between the two, controls for both, what you can do, what you can't do, all that kind of thing, what will happen, what won't happen. All right, so first things first, let's look at the difference in the way the plant looks, okay? Bermuda is going to, or common Bermuda is going to run in a long stringy runner, and it's going to, all those runners are going to intertwine and cross and connect, and that's what'll make it so thick. You can see the crabgrass here kind of grows in a chunk, right? It'll start off as a little plant, and it'll spread out into one bigger plant, into a big round plant. There are a couple of different kinds of crabgrass. This is the most common around here that we get. Crabgrass is an annual type weed. Common Bermuda is a perennial type weed. Annual meaning that, let's see if we can find a seed head. Right here we go. Annual, meaning that when the ground temperature is right in the springtime, this seed will germinate. Well, how does it get a seed in the springtime, and here we are in August? Well, these seeds will fall off now and lay there all winter long and be ready to germinate the following spring. And as the ground gets hotter and hotter and hotter, temperatures get hotter, this thing will germinate and begin to grow. There are two ways you can control crabgrass. Number one, and the single most best and efficient and most productive way, is with a pre-emergent, okay? That would be applied early in the year, pre-germination. We want to apply it before these seeds have a chance to germinate, okay? And what that's going to do, that's going to get a barrier. It's going to create a barrier on the ground so that when these seeds do germinate, the little root hair comes out and tries to tack down in the ground, it'll burn it, okay? And then that will stop the plant from maturing and getting any bigger, and you'll never see it. The other way is with a post-emergent herbicide, which is when I see the weed, I see the crabgrass in the yard, and I apply a post-emergent herbicide to it. Typically that's going to be a liquid formulation. We don't use granular. I'm sure somebody makes one somewhere, but we just don't. We use liquid. They're far more efficient and cheaper. And you would apply it to it, and it would kill the plant, burn the plant, diminish the plant, make the plant go away. It is much more difficult to control this post-emergently than pre-emergently. A good, thick, healthy stand of turf with a good pre-emergent application at the right time, you won't have this. That is the reason I created my cool season guide, to walk you through step by step by step, so that it teaches you and tells you everything to do, what to use, when to use it, how much to use of it, the time of the year, the whole 9 yards. That way you don't have to deal with crabgrass. Now let's slide him over the way, and let's get this booger right here in here, and let's look at him. This is common Bermuda. It is a definite difference in the growth habit or growth pattern of it. Like I said, this is going to be more of a stringy type, running type plant. You can see this runner right here. It spreads by rhizome and stolon. The rhizome will go underground and come over and boop, pop a plant up, and the stolon will crawl right on top of the ground, which that's what we're looking at here. And right at the node, let me give you a good example right here. See this little root right here popping up? That little root hair will pop and dig in the ground right there, and then it'll tack down every so often and root, and that's why when you pull it up, it pulls up like tick, 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 tick. I know you like my sound effects, but that's the way it does, and it'll feed off of the ground and water and whatever else is in the ground through those root hairs. And this stuff is incredibly difficult to control. You cannot control it with a pre-emergent. It will not happen. I don't even think if they made something, I would probably know about it by now, but they don't. This you have to control in a post-emergent fashion, meaning once it comes up, there are chemicals like Pilex, turfline ester, over the top, Fusilade, Triclopyr, Acclaim. Did I already say that one? There's several that you can use for this, and we've been treating it in yards for years and years and years. And I would have to say, I used to think Dallas grass was the most hard to control, but I think my mind is made up differently. Common Bermuda is by far the hardest thing to control in a cool season turf. Now, the Bermuda being a perennial type plant is when the frost comes. Of course, when the frost hits this, it'll make it go away too. It'll be gone. That cycle will start all over. Where it's different is this is going to drop a seed, okay, and you can imagine this being like a total underground plant of a structural underground root system that's just laying dormant over the winter. It's just going to hang out there and wait for the ideal time to pop back up and rear its nasty head. And that's going to be when it starts to get hot. Usually around here in North Carolina, it's around the May, June time frame. You'll start seeing a little bit of it pop up here and there. The hotter it gets, the more aggressive this stuff is. And that's kind of the life cycle of it. And then again, the frost hits it November-ish or so. It wilts and goes back away, and you see it the following summer. Now, while we're talking about this, you know, people grow Bermuda for a yard. And although us fescue guys despise it when it comes up in our fescue, common Bermuda can look pretty dang good, okay? I've actually showed you at the shop how to pump it up and how to grow it and how to make it really nice and thick. And then we killed that off and planted a higher end Bermuda. And I'm telling you, that Bermuda turf will give you that golf course looking yard you've always wanted, because typically that's what's grown on golf courses. It's the same type of grass. Looks super good when it's cut down really short. When you manage it and take care of it, it's a very good looking turf. But in my tall fescue, it is the devil, aka devil grass. So I hope this helps you understand the difference between Bermuda and crabgrass. They're two totally and completely different animals. You manage them totally and completely different ways, and I hope that kind of helps you understand that. Appreciate you watching. I'll check you later.